Okay, Scotty, now we're going to take a look at the underwater view of your backstroke. Okay. Again, here you just need to be a little bit more on that side. You can see the pinky down, that's good. Wrist straight as you're entering, that's good. You can see just a little bit of how that elbow is bowed a little bit as you're trying to start that pull while your shoulders are flat and you're on your back. So we want to be a little deeper with that shoulder at this point, a little higher with the other side, and that'll get you on your side a little more and create a straighter elbow into that catch, into that pull. And then as we're coming through, that's when you get it right here. So this is really when you can deliver your catch and your pull. Okay, you can see again, I would like a straighter hand. Okay, what we want to do is create a catch with our forearm and our hand, and your forearm is angled this way and your hand's angled this way. So you're really kind of keeping the forearm out of the power part of the pull by bending that wrist like that. So on backstroke we want to keep that straighter, and you can just see then what happens is you lead with your elbow. So at this point in the pull, we don't want to have our forearm angled back and our hand curled this way. Okay, we want to wait a little bit for the elbow and the hand so that your hand, your shoulder to your elbows like this, your forearm's like this into your hand, so it's a straight line. So you're catching from the elbow to the fingertip, and by bending that wrist, you're really just catching with your hand, and your forearm's kind of out of the picture. And then right here is when that happens. So on the front part of your pull, if we can get your wrist straight and get that hand in line with your forearm, you'll be like you are here. And this is not bad. You have a nice bend of the arm. You have a 90-degree bend in the elbow. That's all good. That's what we want. So you're pulling good water. It just has to be a straighter wrist as you're starting the catch. And at both areas, the recovery and the catch, you're bending the wrists on the backstroke. So if we can get that wrist straighter, it's going to create a lot more power in your pull. Now as you push back into the finish of your stroke, and this is happening to a lot of people who are flat with their finish, you can see how low your hand is finishing on the stroke. So when we watched the backstroke video, they were talking about Michael Phelps finishing low. You're lower than that. You want to finish your stroke closer to your hip. So it should enter below your hip, but on that line that I just drew. And you can just see you're about 1.5 feet lower than that line that I drew with your hand. And that hand is going to have to come up about 2 feet before it exits the water. So having the shoulder rotation in a better time earlier is going to finish that hand, that right hand, closer to the body. So you're going to actually be quicker with your stroke rate. So when I keep talking about stroke rate and being faster, this is part of the issue. Shoulders flat, hand finishing way low below the body, and that's going to really stall you out. It's going to take a lot of time for that hand to move all the way up and a shoulder roll to happen so that you can get that arm moving over the top of the water. So that's a good thing to see. It's a good thing to see how you're pulling and what's happening to you under the water that's affecting your stroke rate. If you didn't have that 2 feet, you'd be more like 6 inches under the surface of the water. So just lifting your thumb 6 inches versus 2 feet is going to make your shoulder rotation quicker and make your stroke rate a lot faster. Come in, you can just see it's just a little late. You can see again curving that wrist and that hand, and then here it gets into a good position. And then on the other side, I think the same thing kind of happens. You kind of bend that wrist again, and you can see how the elbow's leading into the first part of the catch. It should be the forearm, even with the elbow. So if I back up a couple frames on that side, if I'm watching, Ryan Lochte, Michael Phelps at this point in their backstroke, or even Missy Franklin, they'll go to their elbow here, but then their forearm's out over here with their hand there. and you can just see how your forearm's back over here and your wrist is bent in order to pull the water. So you're leading with your elbow because you're bending your wrists, in a long way of saying it. And then coming into the wall, we'll look through the turn. Again, just a little late getting on your stomach. If that can happen a little quicker, that'd be good. Tuck that chin a little more. Okay, we can see that you're looking straight at the wall. We should be looking at the bottom at this point, so it should be looking a little more down this direction, and that will help you tuck faster and get a little bit quicker on that turn. Coming in, pulling with the palms of the hands, that's good. Tight tuck. Feet are high on the wall, okay? You're the third person I've done on the backstroke videos, and you're the first person to have their feet in the right position for the push-off, okay? Your feet are higher than your hips. Hips are higher than your shoulders. So it should be just like you have them here on the wall. They could be separated a little bit more. That would be helpful. But this is the line that you definitely want to be on, pushing off the wall. And so I'm very happy with that. That gets you to 6 to 8 feet underwater on your push-off and a good position to attack your kick-out. And as you can see, you got good line, good push-off into your kick. And the one thing I noticed, besides your feet being separated, so you have your foot here and your other foot in the dolphin kick is down here. So we want to have those feet together and on the same plane. They can separate a little bit, meaning they can be apart, but you can't have one foot leading the way in the dolphin kick and so high above your body. But the one thing that I notice, and I'm going to draw a little line out in front of you, in the backstroke video we had when they were talking about underwaters, they talked about the shoulders through the hands being very straight and not moving up and down. So as I'm watching yours, and I want to draw this line again and draw it a little longer, okay? So as you watch your hands against that line, I'm going to bring you forward. You can just see your hands get on the line, go above the line, and then they move down. So you're trying to create your rotation, the dolphin kick, with your arms, and it really should start at your chest down through your feet. So that's what should be moving. So your chest moving, your hips moving, and your kick moving are all where you should be moving, but your arms should be very still. So as we're out in front here, your hands and arms should not be moving up and down. So you can see how you're changing angles and positions and then separating your feet again. So as we're looking back here, this is going to hurt your dolphin kick a little bit to have your feet separated. And then breaking out into your breakout. So those are the things to work on in your backstroke. Shoulder rotation, not bending your wrists, and then making sure on your kick out that the upper body, shoulders through the arms and head are motionless as you're doing your kick out.